Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show for Ponca City Public Schools. This is the monthly visit after the monthly Board of Education meeting. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, and so glad to be here with the brand new superintendent of Ponca City Public Schools. You're going to get to know her very well if you don't already, and it's Superintendent Shelley Arrott. And Shelley, thanks for being here, and
I'm
welcome.
glad to be here. First board wrap up. Finished the first official board meeting, so I've had some firsts this week, so I'm really excited about it.
There were a lot of things, and first up on the list, as the new superintendent, any official work involved with that, with taking that position in this meeting, or is that old news now and you're just getting down to business?
Well, it was actually old news. I was actually recommended for hire during the June board meeting, and I know on the last wrap-up show, Dr. Pennington was a little surprised it happened so fast, and so was I. I knew I was going to be a candidate, and I felt like I would get an interview as an inside person, so
Right.
that was real surprising to me. I'm humbled and honored. I've been in this district for many years with lots of roles and know our people, and I think it's a good fit.
So was this something that for years you thought, someday this is the direction I'd like to go? Was that
Without
always in the back of your mind?
shadow of a doubt,
Was it?
my dad is a retired school superintendent.
Okay.
So I grew up wanting to be an educator and ultimately a superintendent. He tried to get me to be a pharmacist, by the way.
Oh, no doubt.
And after I was named superintendent, I got a lot of Facebook messages, and at one time I served as the principal at Union, and the PTA president said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And she said, do you know what your response was? And I said, I want to be the superintendent. She said, that's exactly right. And here it is 11 years later. So
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to these monthly board wrap-up shows. And the idea for this show and the purpose of this show is to give you an inside look into what happened during the meeting and really have our Superintendent Arrott explain elements of that monthly board meeting. So this is the board wrap-up, as the name suggests. Now we get right down to business. Certified hires, a number of openings, but good news, fully staffed for the upcoming school year. Is that right?
as of this 10 seconds, we are fully staffed. And you know, Sean, I come from human resources, so that's
Sure.
always been my focus during the summer, is getting our staff on board. And obviously, we're having a huge teacher shortage in Oklahoma, so
Right.
it's no easy task. We really have to get out and recruit, but we have hired 51 certified employees this year. We range anywhere from 35 to, I think the most we've hired in one year was 66.
I was
So
going to ask, is that above average? It sounds like it is.
it is. Last year we hired 35, but we made some position cuts due to revenue cuts.
Yeah.
So
Administration changes at different sites. Can you describe what that was all about?
well, obviously, when you fill within,
Mm-hmm.
that is going to leave some holes. And I was executive director of HR, and when I moved into the superintendency, obviously that left that position open. So replacing me as executive director of HR is Curtis Layton, who was formerly the principal at West Middle School.
Okay.
We've also had another central administrative change. Our director of special services is Amy Schwartz, and she replaced Jill Henderson, who left at the end of this school year. So with those two replacements, we obviously had a hole at West, and the lead principal at West is now Trenton Murner. He was an assistant at the high school. We had an assistant principal at West retire, Tamara Cheney, and replacing her is Jennifer Dye. She's been a longtime teacher in the district. Then Tammy Flasspohler left Ponca City. She was the East principal.
Right.
So we moved our assistant principal to the lead role, Denton Long, and replacing him as the assistant principal is Stacy Satry.
Oh, very
another
good.
teacher who's been in the district for a long time. So that left one administrative opening, and that was Trenton Murner's assistant principal position at the high school. And we've actually just at this board meeting under new business hired a gentleman out of Clearwater, Kansas. His name is Robert Mellon.
Oh, wow.
So
okay, that sounds very busy.
It
That,
has been busy.
that takes a lot of time. The OMPA, the Oklahoma Municipal Power Authority, had a very special presentation, a rebate presentation. Can you explain what's this rebate all about? How does it work?
And you may have talked about this on previous board wrap-ups, our LED lighting project,
Yes.
where we replaced our regular bulbs in all of our sites, with the exception of our athletic facilities. We replaced with LED lighting, which is light emitting diodes.
Yeah.
And that will save us about 67% on our electrical costs per year.
That's not small.
No, it's huge. For us, it's about just over $300,000 a year.
Wow.
Now, so actually this project was of no cost to the district. Oklahoma LED got the bid. It's about a $1.5 million bid, but what we took a loan and we're paying it in 60 months, or we can choose to pay it off sooner, but the money that we're saving each month is going toward the note.
Sure.
So when we had a rebate if we completed this project, and the Oklahoma Municipal Power Authority presented us with a rebate of just short of $100,000. So it went toward the note.
Wow.
So we should realize in 5 years or less, if we pay it off sooner,
Yeah.
about $318,000 in savings per month, or per year, excuse me.
Per year, yeah.
Per year.
That's incredible. Well, with budgets as tight as they are,
That's right.
you're certainly finding ways and to
Thinking outside of the box.
thinking outside of the box, saving money wherever you can. Let's talk about Roosevelt. This is really cool. Roosevelt Elementary getting an incredible honor that not just any school or facility earns, and Roosevelt certainly has earned it. This is pretty cool. Tell us about it, please.
Roosevelt has been nominated to be on the National and State Register of Historic Places. If you've never been in Roosevelt, if our viewers have never been in Roosevelt, they need to take a tour. It is a beautiful building. It's from the Art Deco era. And basically, this just gives a lot of recognition to our district and to our community of the historic influence and significance that is here in Ponca City.
Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
it's a great honor, and it doesn't put any limitations. If we need to do improvements or anything on the building, we can do that too.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
it's just an honor, and
Yeah.
it just recognizes the historic importance of that facility.
Well, at the board meeting, the July Board of Education meeting, contracts were reviewed and accepted, and I'm sure that was kind of a smooth process.
It was. The July board meeting was basically just renewing our contracts for things that we need to be able to operate, anywhere from agreements that are of no cost to the district, like with the YMCA for after-school kids,
Sure.
to speech language pathologists that we may have to contract with a healthcare providing company because they're hard to come by.
Right.
To our student laptop insurance, just all kinds of contracts. We signed a lot.
All right, very good. One of those, by the way, was an agreement for KPNC to be the new home for Wildcat Sports, and more specifically, starting August 25th, Ponca City Wildcat football. So, as many know, I do the morning show for KPNC and the Sean in the Morning Show. So that's we're super excited.
We are
so
super excited about that as well.
it's going to be wonderful.
It is.
And we couldn't be more excited to be doing that at 100.7 FM KPNC. So let's talk state aid allocations. Now, this is a topic that kind of sends shivers probably down the spine of every superintendent in our entire state, because it's well, it's never enough, is it? And the initial state aid allocations
We did receive our initial state aid allocation, and if you look at the initial state aid allocation, it is about even with what we ended with last year,
Okay.
but it's very volatile. As you know, our legislators came up with a budget where there were some taxes on cigarettes and or fee on cigarettes, let me get that correct, and tax on automobiles. And there are 3 lawsuits that have been filed currently that says that budget was unconstitutional because you can't raise money or raise revenue, produce measures for raising revenue in the last 5 days of session.
So how does that affect these allocations?
It truly means we don't know what we have. So the Supreme Court is hearing the lawsuits on August 8th on both of these matters. So if the Supreme Court deems the budget unconstitutional, legislature will have to go back into session and come up with another way to fill these gaps. This wasn't additional money.
Yeah.
This was just to fill the revenue loss for state agencies. It's not just schools, it's for any state agency.
Right.
But for Oklahoma schools, if the Supreme Court rules that to be unconstitutional, it's going to be about $130 million that Common Ed will not know where that's going to come from.
So this initial state allocation, is it basically on paper? Is this
Yes.
this is what we hope
We
you'll
are not
receive?
counting on it. We are going to base our budget on fiscal year 17's
What you
final
know.
allocations. It's just too volatile. We don't
Right.
know. The Supreme Court's in a tight spot here. What are they going to do? They're going to follow the letter of the law, but at the same time, what do? Shut down state government? I mean,
Right, you have to move forward.
so it's just volatile, and we're just not counting on anything until after that ruling.
Yeah. We're speaking with the brand new superintendent, Ponca City Public Schools, Shelley Arrott, and back to school start dates. I mean, we're wrapping this this board wrap-up show, and we got to talk about the school starting very soon. And
Yes.
so a lot of folks may know when their kids go back to school, but maybe they don't. Tell us, please.
Well, it seems like don't you remember when you were a kid, it seemed like summer lasted forever, and the older you get, the faster it goes.
Right.
It goes. Well, as you're preparing for school, you think you've got all kinds of time, but it's a mad dash. Actually, our principals and our secretaries start back on August the 3rd, which is just in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then our teachers report on August the 10th, which is a Thursday. And then all of our support staff, our 10-month support staff, returns on the 11th, which is a Friday. And then our students start on Tuesday, August the 15th.
How about enrollment, registration?
Registration
How's that process
is occurring
moving along?
now, and I checked our live enrollment, and we still need about half of our kids to enroll in the next 2 days.
Okay, all right.
So we have some windows, and we will close after Thursday's registration and see where we are, and then we'll publicize some days to come in and get those late registrations taken care of.
All right.
So
be looking for those upcoming days, of course, as you're watching this. That closing date has already happened, but the school system here in Ponca City will have those dates too. So be looking for those for enrollment and registration for your child. This is the Board Wrap-Up Show, and Superintendent Arrott, thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
I'm excited
Thank you.
about
I'm excited too.
all year long, every month. Join us for the Board Wrap-Up Show, and you'll get an inside look and understanding of what happens and what's happening all year long with the Ponca City Public Schools in the Board Wrap-Up Show. For Superintendent Arrott, I'm Sean Anderson. Thank you for watching. Until next time.